welcome to the BoshNRoll channel. If you want to support my daily Eternal Magic offerings while getting amazing perks like the BoshNRoll Discord community, have me play your deck on the channel, or listen sideboard guides before tournaments, check out the Patreon or YouTube membership program. This channel is possible because of these amazing sponsors. Check them out, all their links are in the video description. As always, thanks for being here. Let's go play some Magic. Welcome back to the BoshNRoll channel. Today I'm playing Modern at the request of Patreon subscriber Sunseri, and this is their build of Jace Reawakened. This is a card that had a bunch of buzz around it when Outlaws of Thunder Junction started being spoiled. It's a 2-mana Planeswalker that doesn't suck. However, you can't cast it until turn 4, which makes it not really a 2-mana Planeswalker in the traditional sense. Let's break this thing down. Blue, you can't cast the spell during your first, second, or third turns of the game. So got that Sarah Avenger technology. +1, draw a card, discard a card. +1, you may exile a non-land card with mana value 3 or less from your hand. If you do, it becomes plotted. Plotted means you can cast it on a future turn without paying its mana cost. I believe it says you could only do a sorcery too, so I can't plot like counterspell. And then -6 until end of turn. Whenever you cast a spell, copy it, you may choose new targets for the copy. The thing we're trying to do with Jace here is Ancestral Vision. Target player draws 3 cards. Normally you'll have to wait 4 turns for this. With Jace, you only have to wait 1 turn. You could plot this and then cast it for free on the next turn. And hopefully that Jace starts bearing our opponents in cards once we get this going. You also can suspend Ancestral Vision just fine if it happens to be in your opening hand. And then we also have Valki, God of Lies. Valki costs 3 or less, and once you plot it, you can cast Tibalt, Cosmic Imposter. Just another way to cheat this big dummy into play. And the rest of the deck just kind of fills in a fun little blue-black tempo control shell. We got some Profane Tutors in here doing the same trick with the Jace. It just becomes Demonic Tutor. Or suspending it is just fine. If you need a Jace to set up Valki, you could suspend Profane Tutor, find the Jace, cast Jace, plot Valki. And then the rest of the deck. The original version that was sent to me was drawing a lot more cards. Like there were more Profane Tutors, there were more Orcish Bowmasters, and I was kind of concerned about the deck's ability to interact relevantly with Modern, and then its ability to win the game. So I just changed a couple slots to give us some more win cons, added Shieldred to the deck, gave us Tashana's Tidebinder as interaction. There were 2 long goodbyes. I turned them to Shieldred's Edicts, because Eldrazi are a big part of the format right now. Tron's a big part of the format. Long Goodbye is just not going to hit anything out of those decks. Tamio was in the sideboard when this deck was originally given to me. I moved her to the main because kind of this deck's whole thing is drawing 3 cards in a turn. That's all we're trying to do. Let's get another Planeswalker in the mix. This is also a blocker for Ragavan. And with the clues that she makes plus Preordain, we could reasonably flip her without ever resolving an Ancestral Vision. This is just something I want to see happen. But I also moved a Harbinger of the Seas to the main. There were 2 in the sideboard. There's still another one over here. But playing 7 basic islands and a basic swamp, this deck is damn near mono blue. I figure if anyone can abuse this thing, it's us. And then even if we do lock out some of our black spells, Jace can plot them. It's the perfect solution. I want to see this card in play. A little bit of testing going on here. Maybe we want another basic swamp because I added the Shieldred. And now there is a card that is uncastable without a second swamp, but I'm going to let that ride. They would have to show up next to each other for that to be an issue. We've seen Harbinger of the Seas in Merfolk. I want to see it in just a control deck. Trying a bunch of new cards here. Let's give it a shot. This is Sunseri's Jace Visions. I'm on the play in round 1 with the closest thing to Island Ponder Keep we could do in Modern. I'm in. This Preordain's job is to find my next lands. Let's try to make it happen. Preordain. Okay, Boggart Trawler is a land. I'm going to bottom Brazen Borrower, keep the Trawler. I would have preferred an island or blue source in general, but I'm not going to put back any land there. Ancestral Vision, sick. Put that in the bank, and then I'll play Boggart Bog. I'm not going to pay 3 life. Vision is suspended, and would be sick to draw land next turn. We've got a Mortuary, and they kept their card on top. Some bug stuff happening over there. Wall of Roots. All right. Is this a bug Nadu situation? Is this Sultai Yawgmoth? What are we doing? Okay, so this is interesting. I can put them to just green mana and legend mana if I slam this Harbinger. Dead of Winter kills the halfling. I could also just hold up Tidebinder. I'm kind of interested in just harbinging. Shoving this thing in a main deck feels good. It feels worse versus 2 mana dorks, though. Okay, they do have Nadu. Let's see if they can target Nadu with stuff, because now I'm untapping with Counterspell up. Cameo I can cast because of this being an island. That's fun. And I'm just going to chill here and wait for this Ancestral Vision to show up. And hopefully not lose in the meantime. We got 3 cards left. I'm worried about Court of Calling and Shuko right now. Scolding. Okay. We're just playing the Dimir control game here. Cameo flips next turn if Visions pops off. Summoner's Pact. That's interesting. What does this get that I care about? Green creature card. Okay, I'm prepared to learn a harsh lesson. I'm going to let this resolve. What do you got? Because they can't pay for Summoner's Pact right now. This card they tutor for has to win the game for them. Bristly Bill is a legend, but I can Tidebinder this shit. Okay. The Spine Sower's in, and I'm going to Tidebinder Bristly Bill, and we'll see if someone's dead here. If one of the last cards in their hand is Court of Calling. Okay, sick. Nice. All right, Harbinger of the Seas. Hard carry. We're against a creature-based Nadu deck. I definitely want Subtlety. And Harbinger wasn't bad, but they are a deck with mana dorks. You can see Dress Down being useful. The Orcish Bowmaster looks like it has 0 targets. The original list I was sent, like I said in the deck had 4 of these. Bowmaster just doesn't line up versus the modern format right now. It's still a powerful card to have, but relying on it as a 4 of is not a place to be in modern right now. And the idea of like having 3 Bowmasters in play and then targeting them with Ancestral Vision, just I think it's more fantasy than reality. If that's what you wanted to do with this, I don't think it's going to work. I think if my second Harbinger comes in, my Sheoldred comes out, because then this becomes 2 things that make Sheoldred uncastable. I do have a bunch of removal. Picking off the mana dorks and then shutting off their lands seems like a reasonable plan. What does Disruptor Flute actually do? I can name Shuko with it. I can name Outrider Encore with it. Both of those are actually really good. I could proactively name Nadu if I just don't want them to cast it. I think I'm going to cut a Profane Tutor and Spell Pierce. I saw mostly creatures and I saw halflings, so Spell Pierce seems unreliable. Court of Calling is a card I'm worried about, but I have other counterspells for that. Okay, let's do this. Okay, Suspend Vision, play Tameo, and Harbinger of the Seas waiting. Valky's even reasonable just on stats here. Take the Nadu out of their hand, and then it's my Nadu. Dump to Boseiju. Okay, cool. My lands are set up here. Suspend Vision. Yeah, I think I'm going to go Basic Swamp Valky and try to snipe their Nadu. Oh, now I don't have to do that, though. Fatal Push is really good. Yeah, I'm just going to play Tameo. Because the Jace plus Valky is the end game if the Valky's still in my hand. It doesn't work if I play it proactively. Orcish Bowmasters. I am just going to kill this thing now. That's my swamp. I do intend on drawing lots of cards this game. Found a fetch land. Let's see if they have access to a basic. They do have an island, which doesn't help. That's like fetching a mountain into Blood Moon. Now let's see if this Nadu can solo me without access to any colored mana. To the seas. Okay, they had a forest in hand. We could definitely lose to Bristly Bill. Okay, this comes in as an island. And I'll cast Jace Reawakened, and I will plot Valky. Next turn, I can Ancestral Vision and Tibalt if I get a next turn. Springheart and Antuco, they are bestowing it onto Nadu. They flipped a Thoughtseize, which they both can't cast and doesn't do anything. They get a bug, and we'll see what happens. I think Jace has done his job. I'd rather have... Well, let's think. What does Jace actually do? Versus what does Tameo actually do? Tameo gets back Fatal Push, but not till next turn. Tameo bricks these dummies in combat, but the big one still hits. Is Jace better than Tameo? I think it is. I'm just going to block. Okay, we get to do a bunch of cool stuff. Ancestral Vision. Target me. Another Vision and another Harbinger. Fatal Push is active. I'm going to cast Tybalt, Cosmic Imposter. That's in there. Exile target artifact or creature. I could just have Nadu right now and then cast Nadu. They get a trigger, but I think that's fine. They flip Delighted Halfling. This is now my Nadu. Jace is going to plot Ancestral Vision. And I can cast Nadu. I can Fatal Push their Springheart Nantuko. Seems like the only card that's doing anything over there. And then I'm going to pass with 2 Planeswalkers in play and them doing nothing. Okay. Okay. And they could just cast another Nadu. Nice. We did it. I mean, that was sick. And Jace was definitely involved in that game. Harbinger of the Seas, though, hard carrying this match. On to the next one. This video is sponsored by Moxfield.com, the easiest way to build Magic decks online. Moxfield supports over 30 formats, including Legacy and everything else you'll see on this channel. There's multiple customizations so you can interact with your deck how you want. Views such as text, grid, or stacks, and groupings like type, subtype, color, color identity, even artist. The site offers light mode, dark mode, and so much more. However you want to see your deck, Moxfield can provide it for you. Follow my Moxfield to keep up with the channel and what I'm playing in paper. I'll see you there. I'm on the draw in round 2 with the mono black interaction hand. I am going to keep this. I think it's fine. Let's hope they are a deck with creatures. Thoughtseize. Good luck with that. Probably take Bowmaster because it's the only unique thing going on. Unless they're like a Cabal Coffers Ramp Karn deck, then they might take Shoulder's Edict. Alright. My thoughts were seized. Counterspell revealed. Okay, that does get super awkward with my Prismatic Vistas. There are dual lands in the deck that I could fetch, but not off Vista. We'll see if they make me Fatal Push this turn, or if I can surprise them with this Counterspell. They played a Swamp and passed. Okay, I'm going to play this Island and pass back. We got to the point where all of my interaction is online. Now I need to win somehow. Okay, opponent over there, dropping Swamps into play. I'm going to fetch a Swamp in the end step. Just try to throw the scent off this Counterspell that I've come up with. I'm going to use Polluted Delta because there is a Undercity Sewers in the deck. I can't fetch a second Black Source here, though. That's important to note, because there's only 3, and the one that's still in my deck comes into play tapped. Drawing that Watergrave was actually really shitty. The Undercity Sewers, found Island, I don't need that. Looking for something to do here. Spell Pierce, sure. Okay. It's going to be hard for them to do anything, but also I'm not doing anything. And this is what I was worried about when I mentioned in the deck tech of your deck can't just draw cards and cast Counterspell. You do actually have to win somehow. And I'm not currently passing that test for myself. It's just a matter of drawing a card that gets the ball rolling, but right now, these are the things I was trying to address structurally within the deck. Okay, Tamiyo's a card I can cast. They have 6 cards in their hand and a bunch of black mana. I don't expect her to survive, but I've done what I can. It'll push. I'm not going to counterspell that. I am more worried about them sneaking a Sheoldred or a Grief or something through me than I am. Okay, spend a Profane Tutor. Getting that removal spell out of the way is not a big deal to me. This was Malakir Rebirth, so they do appear to be some sort of black scam deck. Alright, I can cast Valky here and get a look at what they're cooking with. This might be terrible, but it is something. And they're tapped low enough that Spell Pierce is actually a counterspell right now for most spells. Let's get a look. A Bowmaster in response. This does kill my Valky. I am not willing to counterspell this. I still get to see their hand. Soul Spike, Malakir Rebirth. Alright. Their deck is crazy. I'm going to Fatal Push this Bowmaster before they can Rebirth it. And now I have to survive the 15 points this Orc army might actually do to me. Plus the Soul Spikes. I have to imagine the One Ring is the card they're looking for off this Profane Tutor that would unlock the Soul Spikes. This deals 4 to any target and you gain 4, and you can pitch 2 black cards instead of its mana cost. That would make a lot of sense if you're just shredding with the ring, keep your life total high, use those extra cards. No attack, interesting. I think I am going to Fatal Push this right now. It represents 2 mana if nothing else. They can't Malakir Rebirth a token. I have perfect information about their hand right now, so I don't care about this. Okay, that's gone. Harbinger of the Seas, interesting. I mean, they can Soul Spike that. I have Counterspell. Alright, Harbinger of the Seas get in. That does turn off their tower. If they were going to search for something like Cabal Coffers, that's off the table now. I'm going to fight over what they tutor for, not the tutor. They played a Swamp. Necro Dominance is what they have. Oh, I will Counterspell that. Okay, that makes sense more than the One Ring with the Soul Spikes. I understand now. Even better. Oh, that was a good draw. We take them where we could get them, team. And now that I know they're a Necro deck, dealing these chip points of damage matters a lot. Once again, let you tutor, and then counter the Necro. Another one. Okay, that's handled. Now we have to continue being alive for a while. Hey, hey. Let's go. That worked out extremely well. And they're at the point where they could just hardcast Soul Spikes. They could kill my Harbinger or just start doming me and keeping their life total flush. I did draw a Vision, which doesn't matter for 4 turns. But it is at least something. Alright, see you later, Harbinger. I love you. Vision ticks down. Preordain. Let's find some action. Fatal Push, Prismatic Vista are not action. Jace. Spike deals damage to any target. Dang, that's a tough sell. And it at least gets the Spike out of their hand, and I don't think the Sheoldred's Edict is doing anything. Oh, I will loot it away. Backup Jace secured. Okay, here we go. We just gotta work through the shit we know they have. Alright, Jace got spiked. We knew that was happening. Those are gone. That's 2 of their giant hits for a Necro Dominance turn out of the deck. Schmirks. Big Daddy Schmirks. I'm gonna play Jace. And I'm gonna plus him. I'm likely to keep the Murktide. Oh, wow. Bowmaster. Bowmaster versus Murktide. Suddenly we have a decision. Murktide's more susceptible to removal. Bowmaster disrupts Necro Dominance in the One Ring a lot better. Alright, I will keep the Bowmaster. I was expecting to just loot away a land or some irrelevant thing, then shove Murktide, but things actually did change. Oh, spiked another Jace. Alright, well, they're at 26. And I'm going to drop this Bowmaster in and start working my way back into the game. We're both Hellbent, but I have Ancestral Vision coming off next turn. I'm going to sandbag that blue to Delta because I do have 2 more Jaces in my deck and could use the loot. Please don't draw a Bowmaster right now. Here we go. Ancestral Vision. Fair and square, but still freaking Ancestral Vision when it happens. Okay, they're spiking. Alright, that's all the spikes out of their deck. They're at 27, which is a lot. Spend another Vision. Play another fetch and attack. Brazen Borrower is Time Walk versus Necro Dominance. I can bounce it before... I guess there's not really a spot to do that, though. If I bounce it in the main phase, because as soon as we go to end step, they get it. Alright, never mind. Maybe this is not Time Walk. I'm just cracking fetches because there's no Brainstorm, there's no anything. I just want to draw good cards. Counterspell's a good one. The Counterspell might incentivize me to shove Brazen Borrower and just start beating. Now that I have something to do here. All right, Brazen V in. Grab my Steam Vents in case I draw the other Valky. Fatal Push. We have seen Bowmaster out of them. We have to assume Grief is in the deck because we've seen multiple Malika Rebirths. Speak of the Devil. Might as well counter it. It's going to take the counter anyway. Ooh, another one. Well, I can push that next turn. I have to lose 2 life to it, though. And if they have Malika Rebirth, they got me. Oh, I could just turn it off, but I'd rather save Tidebinder for the ring. Fetch. Island. Fatal Push. It's out of there. Okay, we are just barely fending off life right now. Another Sheoldred. Okay, well, good thing I have this Tidebinder. Oh, unfortunately, though, this draw happens first, and they all happen at the same time. So I still have to lose 4 here, even if I counter some of them. I counter one of these, turn off the other abilities of Sheoldred, draw, I don't lose a life there. When you draw your 3rd card a turn, that has already come and gone. Jace, loot, get rid of this Prismatic Vista, save the Vision, it'll be better next turn. 3 flying. Okay, this is dicey. They've drawn a lot of high-quality bangers in the last few turns. Have lined up well against my removal. I mean, we're still having a great game here, but this has gotten close. Oh no, my Vision. That hurts. I was ready to have a devious plot. A Tameo can flip this turn because I have a draw step, a Jace activation, and a clue token. I'm just going to chump block this thing with Orc Army. It's too big. Basically lose on the spot to removal spell on Tidebinder. Oh, big Valky time. Hold on. Well, yeah, I'll just do that. Cast Tybalt, Cosmic Imposter. And I'm just shoving it. I think I would like to exile everybody's cards. Murktide Regent Swamp. I'll play their Swamp, which means that I can still loot with Jace. Dead of Winter I don't really want, but I don't want this island either. Yeah, Dead of Winter might still be useful. Island won't be. And then cast Murktide. I can use mana of any color to do stuff. Attack with Brazen Borrower and Tameo. Okay, hope I didn't get too greedy. And I can exile and recast Sheoldred next turn. Or they could sack Sheoldred to Phyrexian Tower, so I'll never get Sheoldred, but I can remove it. Wow, that was a sick game. Okay, Disruptor Flute can name the One Ring or Necrodominance. Necrodominance doesn't activate. I would have to name it proactively before it's on the stack to make it cost more. Harbinger of the Seas doesn't seem that important here. Like, they do have some non-basic lands, but that's not really what they're about. They had a lot of swamps too. Sheoldred seems phenomenal. We did see Bowmasters for Stir and Scolding. Didn't see much going on for Brazen Borrower. Like bouncing Sheoldred, getting an attacker going. Those are things that happened. Dead of Winter doesn't seem important. Brazen Borrowers have at least tempo action going on. That Flusterstorm, I don't think I care. It's going to be about keeping their draw punishers out of play because my deck is all about drawing and they have both Bowmaster and Sheoldred in their deck. Damping Sphere could make their giant Necrodominances worse, but that also makes me trying to preordain and Jace and loot for answers worse if we get into a cantrip late game like we did that game. I could play Subtlety. If this gets super grindy again, just hardcasting Subtlety on a Sheoldred is a huge plan. I think the Profane Tutors are cuter than they are good in general. Maybe having one in to access my Sheoldred would go a long way. If they pivot onto a creature plan, though, and just go like Tothy Voidwalker Beasts, the Dead of Winter could be really good. Uh-oh, running out of time here. I'm going to cut Bogart Trawler and go in with 19 lands. Just ran out of time to make an informed decision. I'm mostly where I want to be, though. This hand looks perfectly fine. I'm in. I imagine some discard spell will happen. Okay, that didn't happen. Maybe Fatal Push. Whatever, here's Tameo. Okay, they just had nothing that costs 1 mana to play. Okay, no play again. I can just aggro flip Tameo here with Preordain. That gets her over, but I don't know if that's actually good or useful here. I think I'm just going to attack first. Get my clue. And then I'm going to Preordain and see if they have a Bowmaster. Bottom the island, top the Tidebinder. Okay, they didn't have it, so I will cast the other Preordain and get my Planeswalker right now. Preordain. This does tap me out. If they shove a Necrodominance here, they're going to get it. Tameo trigger. If they have a removal spell, now's the time. They might Soul Spike this. I mean, if they want to spend 3 cards on this, that's fine. March of Wretched Sorrow. Okay, they pitched a March to cast a March. Deal. That was a 2-for-1 that left another card draw in play. If they shove Necrodominance right now and combo kill me in the end step, it's not going to matter. Ooh, tap land, we did it. Inquisition of Kozilek's going to take Tishana's Tidebinder, probably. Because that's the one that can slow down a Necro. It doesn't lose its abilities, but you can counter the pay life to draw cards trigger in the end step and get a turn out of it. Oh, wow. Sheoldred's Edict. So they're more worried about a Planeswalker or a creature being in play than they are about Tidebinder. Well, that's spooky. I'm going to suspend Ancestral Vision and hold up Flute plus push and just draw a card if none of those things happen. I'm holding 2 answers to Sheoldred, if that's what they've got. If they've got Karn, I can flash in Flute in response and they can't activate it. All right, I'm just going to eat my clue in the end step. True Valky. Vision's down to 3. Now I'm just going to hold up maximum interaction rather than play Valky. Phyrexian Tower. Okay, we're playing Draw Go, but I have Ancestral Vision and they don't. Currently okay with this environment. Prismatic Vista cannot get a second black source. Deck is not constructed with that in mind. I think in the end step, I'm going to flash in Flute on the One Ring and just get that out of the way. Make that a bad draw that I don't have to think about later. And make that mana that I don't have to hold up. Double Tidebinder. Okay, it's go time. My Ancestral Vision's about to pop off, so whatever it is they have, it's time to fight over it. Luckily, I have 2 of a kind interactive spells. 2 pairs. Imagine being at a poker table and someone says, I have 2 of a kind. Savage. And imagine it being the winning hand, too. Extra savage. Yeah, might as well take the Valky, because everything else is doubled up. Alright, Sheoldred's here. And Phyrexian Tower does not tap for black, so they can't Malakir Rebirth this. It'll push the Sheoldred. And then I get to draw 3 cards. Let's go from here. Come on, 3 good cards. All lands. You love to see it. Jace is good, though. I'll take a Jace. All right, Jace the homie. Draw and discard. I'm going to lose this basic island and play Polluted Delta. I've got Stern Scolding and Fatal Push up. Tidebinder. These are all interactive spells. I can fetch the sewer. Ooh, they had to legend rule this. This is going to be... Yeah, they had to sack one of their own lands to force spike this thing. Or soul spike this thing. Yeah, I mean, it's going to work, but that was a 2 for 1 on raw cards that got me some card selection in between. Don't need a Delta. You need to find a way to win, though. Dead of Winter. Okay, that's not it. That's the turn. I really don't want to run out a Tidebinder just to start attacking for 3. I think this card is just too good against their deck to be doing shit like that. Suspend Division. Happy to see that. There's 1 Valky left in my deck, but I would need to access my red source before that's useful. Counterspell? Okay. My hand is getting very good. And they're playing Draw Go from 3 cards. I'm playing Draw Go from 6 cards. Well, I might have to flash in a creature just to avoid going to discard soon. Oh, good. They gave me something to spend a card on. Stern Scolding. Left it in the deck for exactly that creature, and it found its target. Casting Grief. I could Tidebinder this and then Edict it, or I could just counter it. The counterspell is my answer to Necro Dominance, which is the problem here. And if they have a Malakir Rebirth, my line gets completely punished. I'm just going to counterspell it. And they can't cast Necro with the mana they have, because Phyrexian Tower doesn't do that. Grief is countered. Visions comes down next turn. Counterspell replaced itself. Good job. Good job, deck. You're doing your job. And it seems they are just passing. I wonder if their hand is full of One Rings and spot removal, or if there's going to be a firework display of Orcish Bowmasters in my upkeep. Okay, the Viz, here it comes. Tameo. Found something to do. And another Vision. Hey, they scooped it up. Classic blue control gameplay. I have nothing going on. Like, my only permanent in play are lands and a Disruptor Flute, and they just scooped my 9 cards in hand. That's what I want in life. On to the next round. The BoshNRoll channel is proudly partnered with the Resleevables.
Good. All right, here we go, gang.
In this YouTube series, hosts Cedric Phillips and Patrick Sullivan take us on a set-by-set journey through the good, the bad, and the ugly of Magic's history. Each episode is a focused deep dive into the facts about a set's design and release, the Magic lore expressed through the cards in that set, Tournament Edition gameplay videos featuring products and Pro Tour decks of the era, an award show that shouts out the best and weirdest cards of the set, and a final grade for the set's overall success. Whether you want a history lesson or a nostalgia hit, The Resleevables has it at youtube.com/TheResleevables. I'm on the draw in round 3 with a beautiful hand that would have been awesome in Time Spiral Standard. We'll see if it is remotely playable here. Okay, Soulscar Mage, not what I was hoping to see right now. The old Trips Ancestral Vision. I feel like this screenshot is memeable somehow. Triple Ancestral Vision, 2 counter spells, and dead. In the Dead of Winter could be really good if I hit land number 3 on time and get a good Wrath, and I don't die right now. Those are necessary things. Here comes 7 damage. All right, I'd love to see a snow basic island or access to snow basic swamp in my hand right now. The third counter spell. I have to hold up counterspell and then hope I don't die, and also hope that I draw a black source. If they don't cast a spell here, then I don't need to fetch for blue. Also, their spells, whether they resolve or not, deal 3 to me. I think I just take this. I'm very dead here. Okay, so this is 5, 6, 7, 8, fetch to 1. All right, counterspell, baby. Yeah, you cast literally any spell. Okay, they figured it out. Triple lightning bolt. All right, yeah, sweet. Yep, I mean, that can happen when you're playing a deck like this. We've seen what happens when your opponent's trying to be grindy and fair and stuff. You can just smush them. And we've seen when your opponent just casts 2 prowess creatures on the play. A subtlety can buy me some time, even on turn 1, if it needs to. I want everything that's a removal spell in, which is basically already true. Harbinger of the Seas, it does cut off their green splash for shit like pick your poison, but I don't even know if they're going to bring that in. I can't afford to miss a land drop, even though Boggart Trawler sucks. It is also a black source. I'm not going to have time to Profane Tutor, that's for sure. Disruptor Flute, Damping Sphere. Damping Sphere could stop them from just prowess storming out on me. I don't really like Flusterstorm. I think Profane Tutor's out and 1 Damping Sphere is in. I'm not happy about this. Nile Spellbomb can stop breach lines. Spellbomb might be better than Damping Sphere for my needs. And if I ever want to cast a counter spell and a removal spell in the same turn, or 2 removal spells, Damping Sphere would step on me. I think Pierce and Scolding are both good. Bowmasters is mid, but it can block. Tidebinder's fine. I think just 1 Spellbomb comes in, and we leave it at that. Remember that hand I kept last round? That was just like all black removal spells. That's what I want here. I will keep this because Tamiyo can block, and then I have counterspell. This Sheoldred is a long way off, though. The one of Steam Vents. Pick the perfect time to show up. Arid Mesa. Galvanic Discharge. Well, that just kills my thing. That's mostly fine, though, because they're passing turn 1 without a threat in play. I'm going to counter just literally anything here. Ooh, someone kept a 1-lander. The Vij. Okay. Well, getting Steam Vents in tap now is better than nothing, and Vision is suspended. Shields are down. Dragon's Rage Channeler is what they got to show for it. And now I'm untapping into Subtlety. Can we start finding black mana? Okay. That is black mana. I'm not going to shock it in to have Subtlety up, though. I'm just going to have this as a slow plan. I'm not going to block this Dragon's Rage Channeler because Lightning Bolt is just too easy and too free for them. Just not interested. If they're attacking for 1, I can take that for a while. Bog played tapped. Working my way up to Sheoldred. Lava Dart in the end step. Sure. Kept their card on top. It's probably a land. Surprise, it's a land. Let's hope they slam Slickshot Show Off right now, and I slam Subtlety. Amped Raptor. That works too. Whatever it is, put it on top of your deck. They put it on bottom. Okay, didn't even want that. Got the full hard counter, the Mystic Snake out of Subtlety here. Can I find a black source right now to unlock this Sheoldred and just be huge on this board? No, but I will take interaction. Subtlety's not here to attack. Not yet. Another Channeler can resolve. Lightning Bolt. Milled an Amped Raptor. Milled a Bauble. They have Delirium now. My plan is to... Oh, they have Lava Dart. Okay, well, I'll at least cost you the land. I'm going to bounce the DRC that's not attacking, and I'm going to flash in to block the one that is attacking. If they want a Lava Dart and sacrifice one of their 2 lands for this exchange, I'll take it. Block. Pretty good deal, and now Visions pops off. Would have preferred to have Sheoldred and play when this happens, but good chance I find the black mana now. Come on, deck. Haven't found black mana. All right, we did it. We're in there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I could just shove Valky or Tibalt right now. I think Sheoldred, Preordain is a better line, though. Sheoldred, Preordain, Dead of Winter, Fatal Push. top these. Gain 2 life off of that. And I could play Nile Spellbomb, which affects their Lava Dart. It turns off Underworld Breach as a line. I can't draw a card off it right now, but I can hit their graveyard if I need to. Amped Raptor, please hit Underworld Breach. They hit Galvanic Discharge, which cannot kill Sheoldred. Oh, it can with Lava Dart's help. Okay, that's pretty good. But again, they have to sack one of their 2 lands they have to finish this off. Or they could just put 4 energy in their pool and not do anything to Sheoldred. Or sandbag a Lightning Bolt. Alright, they had a couple ways to check that box. That was a lot of cards they had to spend on that, though. That already swung the game by 8 life points. Or 4 life points. 4 life points. Dead of Winter. I could just play and plus Valky. He goes to 7 right away. They have a creature. Any mana I flip does what I need it to here. I know they're holding Dragon's Rage Channeler. Yeah, I'm going to play Tibalt. There he is. Plus, it did hit a land and a Lava Dart. I'll shock in Watery Grave here. I can dart their Amped Raptor or Fatal Push something. The dart does end up in their graveyard, which is something I have to respect. Slickshot Show Off, aka Sling Dog Gazillionaire. Now they have a choice. Do they want to try to deal with this 7 loyalty Planeswalker? Or do they want to just get me dead in 2 hits? They are prioritizing Valky. No blocks. I'm going to try to get them to commit some spells to the board before I push this. Sling Dog. There's a Lava Dart. This is currently not lethal. Lava Dart. Now I'm going to Fatal Push the Gazillionaire. And they're done. Sweet. Okay. Yeah, sometimes your Mono Red Prowess opponent, or Girl Prowess opponent, just misses a land drop, and you hardcast Tibalt Cosmic Imposter before they do anything. We take those. Do I want the other Spellbomb in? That actually was really nice to know that they couldn't breach me out of nowhere. What would the cut be if I did that? It would probably be a Visions, which is a pretty important part of my deck, even though it's slow. Right, I think I'm just still going to stick with 1 Nile Spellbomb. This hand is 2 blue, not enough black. I think I just have to mulligan this looking for a Fatal Push. Oh god, it's the same hand. Come on, deck. Jesus! Well, I'm not going to 4. I've tried. Get rid of Prismatic Vista and Jace. Now I wish I kept the 7, but with the number of black removal I play, going to 5 without seeing one seems unlucky. Commercial District, they kept their card on top. Nile Spellbomb, the one of. My plan is to fetch Undercity Sewers here. Sling Dog, Mishra's Bauble, that's 3 damage. It could still Mutagenic Growth if they're trying to push. Looks like they're not. Undercity Sewers, trying to push. We said it. Fatal Push, you're in. They could bobble me and see this Fatal Push right now if they want. Then they know. Okay, yep. They know about Fatal Push. My secrets. I'm going to hold up Counterspell rather than play Nile Spellbomb. That doesn't matter yet. Amped Raptor. I'm going to counter that. That's good for 2 cards. And if they get a big hit in with Sling Dog, that's fine. But at least that didn't happen while I had Counterspell up. Just 1. A little baby. Okay, there's Jace. I could cast him next turn. I don't think having Spellbomb in play is important compared to the potential impact of Tishana's Tidebinder this turn. Dragon's Rage Channeler. Amped Raptor. Okay, so I can Tidebinder the Amped Raptor trigger, and then I have a creature on the board. That's actually good. Yeah, shut that down. They keep hitting land drops, which means they have more spells. Lightning Bolt on Tidebinder makes the Slick Shot bigger. I've successfully sandbagged the Nile Spellbomb this long, so they don't know that they don't have a graveyard. I'm going to 12, and they have 1 card left in hand, but they do have a bunch of creatures on board at this point. Jace can loot away Preordain, or it could plot Preordain for next turn. I think I want to plot Preordain for next turn. That just sees more cards for the same mana, and I can't cast the spell I draw this turn anyway because I need to hold up Fatal Push to not die. Unstable Amulet. Okay, whenever you cast a spell from anywhere other than your hand, deals 1 damage to each opponent. That could be powerful with Underworld Breach, if that's a combo they play. They flipped a card. Oh, Gigantha's been a companion this whole time. I literally didn't notice. Exile the top card of your library. Where'd that go? Oh, was it a land that they just played? Okay. I was distracted by Gigantha and they snuck a land into play on me. Now with me at 12 and this low impact Planeswalker in play, they can decide where they want to put their attacks. I would honestly love it if they put any energy at all into Jace. Just let him soak up some damage. He's not doing anything else for me. I think they should just go face and ignore the Planeswalker. And it looks like they came to the same unfortunate conclusion. Okay, no blocks. Push the Slang Bang. 1 card left in hand. They can get Jeggy here. They have 3 mana to do that. And then 5 mana to cast it next turn. I noticed this was a card in their deck just in time. Okay, need some big moves here. I have Preordain plotted. Okay, I can flip Tamiyo, get back Fatal Push at minimum. Alright, yeah, let's do that. Cast Tamiyo. Cast Preordain. How many of these cards can I actually have? Oh wait, I can't get back the thing until next turn. So the Brazen Borrower I actually want now. Oh, top. Then I can't play the land because I have to loot. Yeah, draw a card, discard a card. This flips Tamiyo. I discard the Snow-Covered Island. I plus Tamiyo. Creatures that attack me next turn get -1/-0. Nile Spellbomb actually saves as much damage as Brazen Borrower does. And I might still hit a land drop this turn if I use it. But they could also get Delirium next turn. Yeah, I think I want to wait until combat. Right, they're just in for their beats here. I'm going to Spellbomb them. I will pay the 1. On a fresh Tamiyo, I end up taking 1 damage here. 6 is double bolt range. They have Jeggy and 2 unknowns in hand. Bobble, okay. Dump to land. Jeggy is a good target for Brazen Borrower. Bobbling me. We're both going to know what this card is. Counterspell. Interesting. Not helpful, though. I think I just loot with Jace. Draw and discard, see what happens. Alright, draw and discard. Stern Scolding. Yeah, I'm going to discard. And Stern Scolding and Counterspell are pretty comparable here. 1 costs 1. I can't get the Jeggy out of play and counter it this turn, though. If I get back Fatal Push and kill Dragon's Rage Channeler, then I can bounce Jeggy, only take 2 next turn. Or I could hope they don't get Delirium. But I can't plus Tamiyo anyway. Delirium is not hard for them to get. I don't think I'm going to have time for this counterspell in this game at all. But it does also stabilize versus... Oh god. Magic's hard. Okay, I'm going to discard the counterspell. I think that's the worst card in my hand. Then Tamiyo's going to get back Fatal Push for me. It's not green, so I don't get a mana, unfortunately. And then I guess I just hold up all of these spells. Or if I'm going to Fatal Push, I should knock out the DRC now, so they don't get Delirium. Okay, Brazen Borrower's on Jeggy duty. And then we'll see what else happens. My life total getting low here. That Maul to 5 just crushing me here. Speaking of crushing me. Well, I could Scold this, but then Jeggy kills me, so I have to let it resolve and just hope it's not lethal. Any spell does it here. So this is 5 damage. They can't breach, though. Unless they have another spell. And they do have another spell. Okay, GG. Yeah, I mean, mulling to 5, like, that last couple turns where Jace had to discard the land that would have let me have Brazen Borrower and Stern Scolding up this turn, like, that was the mull to 5 coming back. If I just had 1 or 2 more cards with my loots, would have been better, but I chased a hand with that wanted removal rather than counterspells, didn't find one, and then ended up being close anyway because of the texture of their draw. That's just one of those things. You don't know till it's too late. Oh well, on to the next round. Welcome to TopDeck.gg, your community's home for everything competitive Magic has to offer. If you're hosting an event, playing for a huge prize, or advertising your events to thousands of players, we've got you covered. Using intuitive pairing software, playing Magic is a breeze. Players just have to sign up online, then scan the QR code in-store. Give competitors the gift of perfect information as their bracket updates in real time. The self-reporting software saves you time and leaves paper match slips in the past. Leave the heavy lifting to TopDeck.gg so your community can relax and focus on playing Magic. I'm on the play with a bit of a risky one, but I am going to run it. I get to fire the Vision on turn 1. I am going to fetch the Watery Grave and just hope this matchup isn't about my life total specifically. Mishra's Bauble. Bad sign for matchup not being about my life total specifically. Targeted themselves. Bloodstained Mire. Blood Crypt. Another Bauble. Bobbling me. Is it a land? You can tell me. Another Bauble. Storm is 3. Storm is 4. Another Goyf. Right? I mean, that thing's pretty big. Okay, you draw 2 cards. Could have been 3. Embarrassing my Ancestral Vision. Never worried. Always had it. I think Counterspell is better to hold up here than play Tamiyo, because Tamiyo dies to Bolt. If just one card type ends up in the graveyard, then other Goyf's too big anyway. Let's just use our life total as a resource and try to find a Fatal Push. In for 2. It didn't bolt or anything pre-combat to make it bigger. And this one only counts their graveyard. Yep. Psychic Frog. Glad I left up Counterspell, because holy smokes, that's not a card I can beat right now. Let's put that away. That does make the Goyf bigger. I'd love a land. Just keep the lands coming. No love. That's okay. I kept a greedy 1-lander. I knew what I was doing. Thoughtseize, I mean, go ahead. Here they are. If I only had 1 Counterspell, I would just counter the Thoughtseize, but the fact I could still counter another spell this turn makes me want to let it resolve. We took the Tamiyo. Makes sense. That's kind of the most unique thing going on over there. Okay, this Thoughtseize now. If they play a land and another spell this turn, I will feel silly for countering this, but the numbers are dropping here, and if they just pass here, I'm going to wish I had Counterspell up. Steam Vents. Okay. That one doesn't cast Necrogoyf or Death Shadow. Cool. All right. Not where I wanted to be on that one. Land number 3, right on time. Goyf is huge, though. This is a little spooky. Ancestral Vision, save me. That's what we need. That's what we've needed from the keep. Death Shadow is heckin' large. I'm just going to counter it. Is what it is. If they follow up with a Psychic Frog, then that's in play. All right, Thoughtseize. Interesting they didn't Thoughtseize first and just strip the Counterspell and resolve the Death Shadow. What's up with that? Is their hand Spell Pierce? Trying to think of why they would do that in the way that they did it. Okay. Ancestral Vision, target me. Please find me a Fatal Push. We did it. And a Trawler. Wow. Okay. Snow-covered Island. Fetch for Swamp. Fatal Push the Goyf. And then exile their graveyard with my 3-1. Wowie zowie. And if their hand is just another Death Shadow, that's not going to matter, but that was a pretty good sequence. 4 mana. Grief. Well, my Tidebinder's gone. I'm dead in 2 hits. All right, deck, let's flip it. Let's do something good here. Removal spell. Removal spell. Profane Tutor that will... I will be dead before that matters. I'm dead to Lightning Bolt now. If that's a card they play. Death Shadow. That's huge. Come on. Useful card. Well... I've seen worse cards than that one. Okay. You're saying there's some weird semblance of a chance. I hope they Thoughtseize me pre-combat. That would be sick. Okay, I'm dead to any removal spell here, because I need all 3 of these blockers. I'm dead to any counterspell. But I can at least present a game. Okay, go to blocks, jump, trade, and then I can tutor for Fatal Push and be stable, or something better, and I don't know, let's see. I'm at 1. They got 2 cards in their hand. Profane Tutor, let's go. Cast this. My whole deck is available to me. Dead of Winter, not close to answering this thing. Brazen Borrower does remove the thing and pressure their life total. Murktide Regent's too small. It's Fatal Push or Brazen Borrower. The Borrower answers the thing less permanently, but does put them to 3 on the board right now, or to 2 on the board right now, which does not win the race for me, so I'm just going to get Fatal Push. All right, I will pass to you and push in your upkeep. Okay, we didn't get drowned in the lock. There was no end-step Bowmaster. Goyf is back. It's a mighty 1-2. Okay, I was going to say that makes fetching awkward because it's not currently lethal, but they have a fetch land, which means it balances out. So I'm just going to get the sewer here and go to 1. Sewers, show me the goods. Children's Edict, yeah, okay. I will cling to life desperately with that card. And pass to you. Upkeep, sacrifice a non-token creature. And this escapes for Delirium, which they are not close to. They fetched in the upkeep. Oh no, you gotta do it again. Gotta keep fading. Alright, come on, deck. Gas me up. Preordain. Could be anything. Even a Brazen Borrower. Bottom top. Okay. Pass the turn. Gonna bounce Nethergoyf in their upkeep. Brazen Borrower, I can cast and put them to 1. They're still winning the race, though. No, there's red in the pool. No! No! The next card was Island. We were losing anyway. It's fine. Didn't matter. I'm not giving you credit for that lightning bolt. Okay, I think my Harbinger of the Seas comes in. Grixis Shadow has always had super greedy mana. Nile Spellbomb comes in. It's really good against Nethergoyf. Makes it a 0-1 if it's in play, and then exiles it if it's out of play. Subtlety interacts with creatures. Dress Down is interesting because it's good against Goyf, but bad against Death Shadow. I don't think I want it. I think the Profane Tutors are too slow. They did have an exciting moment of heroism there, though. Stern Scolding is medium. Because Death Shadow is a 13/13 on the stack. Goyf is whatever it is on the stack that is affected in all zones. Yeah, I don't think Stern Scolding is going to line up well. Unless I use the Nile Spellbombs as part of the package to make the graveyard small and scold a relevant creature. Encounter Spell is kind of mid when they get so low to the ground like this, and it's usually better to try to meet them on the board. But I also do need to stabilize and leverage my massive card advantage somehow. Okay, I'm off the counter spells. I'm going to try to play to the board. Okay, I like this hand a lot. They're also a Thoughtseize deck, so keeping 7 and putting your reload safely in exile is good. Putting Visions in the bank, and off we go. Fetching Blood Crypt, another Goyf. I will put that in the graveyard for you if you like, and if you don't like. It's happening regardless. That's kind of interesting, because I have Edict plus Wrath available for the next turn if I just want to bank a second Ancestral. Talk myself into it. Super greedy. Love cards. You can't convince me not to love cards. Got to fetch. And Forg. They would have to discard 2 cards to save the Frog. Discarding those 2 cards might also save the Nethergoyf. They would have to discard 2 cards of 2 types. They might even do it now to push damage. Up to you. Discarded this creature land. That's smart. Okay, yeah, now this Wrath looks pretty bad because both of these creatures can just recover. And it's definitely worth a card from your hand to save one, if not both of these creatures. I could Tidebinder and try to snipe the Frog activation. Or the Frog trigger. Yeah, I think I'm going to do that. Because if the Frog has no abilities, then Dead of Winter is more reliable. Cycling Street Wraith, sure. That does make Nethergoyf bigger. Glad I didn't Wrath, but it sucks that didn't line up at all. Okay, so these are attacks. They know I play Fatal Push, so they're going to be a little cagey, probably, about when to activate the Frog, but you're about to connect and draw a card, so you don't need to be crazy right now. Tidebind this Frog activation, trigger, not an activation. And then Psychic Frog will lose all its abilities until this Tidebinder leaves play, which might be immediately. Okay. This draw is still countered, but the Frog can still discard cards and do stuff. If I had Valky'd them on turn 2, they wouldn't have this Frog in play. And now I'm just getting buried by it. Yeah, I put way too much stock in this Wrath that just isn't going to kill anything. Well, right now the Wrath would cost them a card in their hand and kill the Death Shadow. Or wait, I can go to 4. Yeah, so I cast the Wrath for 3. They discard a card, I fetch in response, and then it becomes 4. And then they would have to go Hellbent, and they only have Psychic Frog left at the end. Maybe I'm supposed to just fetch beforehand, make sure Nethergoyf dies, because if they just say okay here, keep their 2 cards in hand, that's tricky. If they have Street Wraith, the Shadow survives. They spent a mana. If they have just like Spell Pierce, I don't even know what we were doing. Dismember your own Frog. Okay, so that makes the Shadow survive. Then I'll fetch to finish off the Goyf. And I'm going to take at least 7 this turn, and they got 1 card left. Fetch land puts me to 1. Lightning Bolt puts me to 1. Okay, I'm at 1 on board. They've got 1 card left. Yeah, I'm dead to a lot of stuff here. But if their last card is bad, I'm in reasonable shape. But we know they're a Lightning Bolt deck, so they always have live draws. Oh no, they're spending mana. Kolaghan's Command? Literally anything here. They untap their mana. What's the sweat here? What are you worried about? I guess Spell Pierce, if it's Kolaghan's Command. Okay, Vision myself. It made no sense to wait here. Okay, Sink into Super. That makes sense. All right, it's not Kolaghan's Command. If that was a card that killed me, it would not make sense to wait. But it was not. So it does make sense to do that. Edict. Each opponent sacrifices a non-token creature. Get this board back to empty. And they're in top deck mode, but I can't even use this fetch land. We'll see how long I can hold on to this. Bobble, target me. I have the other vision popping off here. Oh, right, they have this dope in their graveyard. Forgot about that. Did Bobble just give them 4 types? Did that top deck do it? Instant, creature, land. Yeah, that top deck actually gave them a 3/4 creature. Okay, it's fine. We're having a good game here. This is fun. That was still a better draw for me for them to have than Lightning Bolt. All right, load me up. Preordain. Orcish Bowmaster. Okay, Preordain. Fatal Push. I think I want to Orcish Bowmaster. This thing doesn't trample. This puts them to 2. Because if I can chump this thing for a while, that's fine versus the Fatal Push that can kill something trickier like Psychic Frog. And putting them to 2 turns off Street Wraith, Thoughtseize, a bunch of things that they play. Block. And being able to attack back matters too. Big Jace. Okay. I'm going to cast Jace. I'm going to Fatal Push the Nether Goyf, see if this resolves before I do anything else. Not dead after all. Okay, so this comes back with a Wicked roll. So if this ever leaves play, I lose. Okay. That's terrifying. All right, so that comes back. Jace is going to plot the Valky. And I have to chump block and hope I'm alive. If they can even just bounce or sacrifice their own creature somehow, I lose. What a tight game. Okay, the attack, the block, me hoping their hand is completely blank. Okay, we go into my turn. Vision goes down to 1. Jace can draw and discard. This fetch land certainly is not helping me. Murktide Regent might. Okay, I'm going to cast Tibalt Cosmic Imposter without paying its mana cost. Looks like they have a counter spell. Okay. And now I lose because I can't even block this Nether Goyf. Can I make Murktide Regent a 4/4? I think so. Okay, Valky, Bowmaster, land, creature. Yeah, I'm just going to make it so small that it doesn't kill Nether Goyf. This sucks, but at least we're finding ways to stay in the game. That was a really good Stubborn Denial. Okay, block this thing. A Death Shadow. It's getting harder. The Visions does pop this turn, though. If anything can save me, it's this. No! They're so stubborn. Why don't you just die? Okay, draw and discard a card. Tamiyo does flip here, though that doesn't help. I need a blocker, not that. And if I play this other Jace, I'm 1 card short of even keeping the second card. All right, well, other Jace get in. Draw and discard. Recent Borrower. So close. Nope. Just a little behind. The double Stubborn Denial at the end. Big deal. Yeah, if my Ancestral resolves, I have Tamiyo that can jump, Brazen Borrower that can answer, and then I clap back for the win. So, yep, down to 0 cards. That was a really good match. On to the final round. We're a few rounds into the video. Thanks for sticking with me. Friendly reminder that if you're still here and having fun, smash that subscribe button. And if you want to play what I'm playing, you can use my affiliate link for TCG Player to support the channel while you shop for cards, and you can try any deck anytime with a cardhoarder.com loan account for Magic Online. All these links are in the video description below. Now back to the league. I'm on the play in the final round, positive record on the line. I'm playing against El Campesino, which I don't know who this is, but that is a Mexican restaurant near my house. I'm going to lead on the Undercity Sewers. Off we go. Murktide Regent. I am going to keep that. With the Preordain and the Counterspell, that does give me a certain type of game plan that this deck can't always commit to, but I currently have in front of me, so let's rock it. Spire Bluff Canal. Okay. I'm just going to hold up Counterspell and pass. And then this turn, I can Preordain, and then hold up Counterspell and pass. I'm going to fetch first because I don't want to scry something to the top and then have to fetch and shuffle to cast Counterspell. Bottom the Delta, top the push. This could be some combo deck, but generally Spire Bluff Canal means is it Murktide, where Fatal Push is pretty good. Thundering Falls. But if they want to play Land Go, I'm really good at this. And by I'm good at this, I mean my deck is good at this. I mean, I personally like to think I'm good at playing Land Go Magic also, but this favors me. This Jace could put Valky in. It is turn 4. I don't want to be the first to blink, though, in the draw go game. Like, if they just have Counterspell plus Spell Pierce here, then untap play a Murktide, I don't even know if Valky's going to be good enough. 2 Thundering Falls. Another Delta. Okay, there's another Jace. That means I don't care if the first one gets countered. I am just going to test the waters here, and then probably pass if this doesn't resolve. Counterspell is fine, pass the turn. Hopefully they take that resolving as me not having anything, and then they try to do something too aggressive, and then I actually resolve one next turn. End step fetch. Still just blue and red lands. And they're still playing Land Go. The patience is impeccable. I will also go back to playing Land Go now. Flame of Anor to draw 2 cards. You got it. That's not my fight. Though I don't think that's a card that's normally in Is It Murktide. We might be against something bigger and slower. Other Steam Vents, they zapped it in. Profane Tutor. Alright, I'll suspend that and start putting some kind of real pressure on. That's just a thing they got to think about 2 turns from now. I'm now concerned about Snapcaster Mage, though. I think they're going to have way more counterspells in their deck than I do. Even, like, I don't know if Vendilion Click is actually played, but it would be horrible for me here if it is. Spellstutter Sprite is insane against my deck. Just putting that out there. I'm just naming wizards that are legal in the format right now. Top the Preordain. Kind of just wish my deck had 1 Thoughtseize in it. Tidebinder's not bad. That's another relevant wizard. They're just bolting me in the end step. Bolt, Snap, Bolt gameplay unlocked. I hope this is the full Kiki Jiki Splinter Twin deck. A Profane Tutor. What do we got here? Are we going to have a fight? Am I just going to get a card? Tutor's on the stack. Okay, that did resolve. Doesn't necessarily do anything yet. Sheoldred is a giggity, massive unit in this matchup. I could get Jace and just shove Jaces until I'm happy. I could get Counterspell. I could get Bowmaster. I suspect their deck full of red removal won't be that scared of a Bowmaster. Could get Spell Pierce, but I think we're past that. I wish there was 1 Thoughtseize I could tutor for here. I think I just want another Jace. Ended up drawing Tamiyo anyway. Alright, I'll start with Tamiyo, see how they feel about that. They probably feel like it's a good target for Lightning Bolt. That's my guess. And Jace? Subtlety. That's a powerful effect. I could Tidebinder the Subtlety trigger. Then I'm fully tapped out versus this mess. I could also counter the Subtlety. I could let Subtlety resolve, Fatal Push it, and then cast another Jace. I think that's what I'm going to do. Subtlety resolves. Fetch before the ability, because I don't want to shuffle away the Jace if I decide I want it. Fatal Push the Subtlety. That puts Jace on top of my deck. Then I'll play Jace. A lot of jockeying over Jace Reawakened because I think that Valky is the thing that will end this game. This is my 3rd Jace with the 4th one on top of my deck right now. Oh, baby, this sucks. Well, 50-50. This gets countered or they have it. Okay, well, I think this card is crazy, by the way. This is the lowest downside flip a coin is it nonsense card there's ever been. Usually it's like flip a coin, do something broken. If you lose, do nothing. This is just a full, it is countered, is the fail case. And it's mine if I win the flip. That's terrifying. Okay, Jace, get in there. I have Counterspell to follow this up. We'll see how much is left in their hand. Spell Snare, Jesus. They must have just drawn that. That one's really good to have here. Would have been really good last turn, too. And another counterspell. Okay. The Jace fight is over, and I didn't win. I'm just going to cast Bulky now. See if I can steal something out of their hand. I started the fight, and now it's Murktide's job to finish it. Dress down. Okay, so I just get a 2-1 creature. That's fine. 2-1 creature in play. Pass the turn. That is the first threat of the game that's on the board for anyone. It's turn 10. My 2-1. Get to work. Oh, wow. If they had Lightning Bolt, maybe they drew it off the dress down. But if they have Lightning Bolt, they didn't even need to dress down there. Okay, here we go. Good card? Nope. All right, Murktide. Get out there, big guy. It's your job to win this game. I can stifle a Snapcaster Mage. If they just have a counterspell, this is in the graveyard. I can stifle a Subtlety. Snapcaster is what they have. Probably targeting Invert Polarity. Yep. Tidebinder. And they still have tricks. Dress down. Oh no. That works so perfectly for them. Their Snapcaster's already happening. The good news is, if they steal my Murktide, it's only a 3-3 now, but I would certainly prefer them to lose the flip again. Here we go. They lost the flip. Sweet relief. But they have more cards in hand than me, and the board is stable. So I am behind at this point. Got a discharge for that. A Tamiyo, time to turn the corner for them. I'd love a removal spell or something big like Sheoldred right now, because this Tamiyo will take over the game. We did it. Might as well cast it on their turn. But momentary relief achieved. Oh no! Their last card in hand was another counterspell. Their deck is crazy. I think I have a control deck. They have a control deck. Much more dedicated to the craft than I am over there. They're going to crack their clue, because if they find a preordain, they get to flip Tamiyo immediately. Profane Tutor. Get to work. See you in multiple turns. Yeah, I said in the deck tech that the Profane Tutors are too cute, and I do believe that to be definitely true. I think the Ancestral interaction is good enough to be worth it, but the Profane Tutor should just be some modern playable card. Crack their clue. Back up to 4 cards in hand already. Just a moment ago, we were both hellbent. Ancestral Vision. Get you on the clock as well. This Tamiyo has done a full Ancestral recall at this point. Ancestral Visions of its own. Saving that clue token, which means that they don't need to draw cards here, or they are just locking Tamiyo flip next turn with a double clue. Tutor on the stack. I can't imagine any card I get is going to resolve or be any good. I guess Bowmaster, because they're in this spot where they're trying to draw a bunch of cards. Preordain. Can we back up the Bowmaster against their 5-card hand? Vision is no good. Edict can make them sack a Planeswalker. I could let them have Tamiyo and then ignore it. Or if I Bowmaster the Snapcaster and then Edict them, it can only take Tamiyo in creature mode. Okay, I guess this is as good a time as any. Just show me your million counterspells. Yeah, we're cool. I don't need to spend more of my life doing this. Yep, they're a better draw go deck than me. Is there a way that I can get low and punish this? Nihil Spellbomb doesn't seem too bad. It's at least a cantrip and keeps their Snapcasters chillin'. Flusterstorm helps me win fights. Harbinger of the Seas, their red cards are relevant. See, Fatal Push and Sheoldred's Edict. Dead of Winter's definitely coming out. Profane Tutor's coming out. It's too slow and awkward. I'm pretty sure I want these cards. The Harbinger is really interesting because, I mean, I guess they just float red and kill it in basically all situations. All right, Harbinger's not interesting. It's bad. These are what I want to bring in. I need some interaction. With Fatal Push, they have a bunch of Tamiyos that I want to respect. Stern Scolding can hit that. I think Spell Pierce just gets upgraded to Flusterstorm here. I didn't see any spells that are not creatures, but are also not instants and sorceries. And maybe I just cut another push. I'm worried about Tamiyo just running amok on me, but I think I have to be more aggressive here. Try to get something on the board and stop them, because they are a better late game deck than me. Okay, there's 19 lands in my deck. Undercity Sewers gets a look, and then I have a draw step. I'll take my chances. Sewers, not a land, put it in the graveyard. Oh no, they turn 1 the Tamiyo. Alarm bells, alarm bells. Land please, land please. The other Nihil Spellbomb, I hate you deck. I could have mulliganed. So based on how last game went, I actually would have been fine missing a land drop or two, and we just catch up eventually, and it doesn't really matter. Like, the first spell was cast on turn 10 last game, but basically this entire game happening the same way, except now they have Tamiyo, completely changes everything. Preordain. Let's go. Let's see how aggressive they want to be. If they, like, spell pierce this. Oh, God. Bottom. Ancestral Vision. Oh, no. I've seen 13 cards. So that's 6 cards over my keep. 1 and 3 cards in my deck is a land. I'm officially running bad. Even if I did keep a hand that could have been a mulligan, I could have just mulliganed for 2 lands, but at this point, officially running bad. Tamiyo is a really interesting game piece because if this was Ragavan, I'd be more worried, but this also sucks in kind of a different way. They did overdraw here, so they're going to have to go to cleanup, but they do get to flip Tamiyo. That's the trade-off. Okay, can I draw a card and resolve a spell right now? But we've also seen Force of Negation and Subtlety in their deck, so the answer is probably no. Okay, we're at least going to get a chance at this Jace. I assume it's going to get forced, but I'm still going to cast my spell while I can. If it's Subtlety, I could Subtlety back. If it's Force, I'm just in trouble. All right, yep, Force Pitching, Scorn Scolding. You got me. Tamiyo's going after the Force. I'll bomb that. I'm just not going to be able to win a game where I know they're holding up Force of Negation. Back up Tamiyo. Creature mode. Thundering Falls. They're representing Counterspell. So if I draw a untapped land this turn, I can Bowmaster with Fluster Protection to clear the Planeswalker Tamiyo. Bummer. All right. I think I'd rather Preordain for the land than just try to raw dog the Bowmaster. I'm going to need lands to play this game somewhere. Now they're getting aggressive. I think I would rather suspend Visions and let that Counterspell resolve and keep the Flusterstorm up. I think I'm going to need Flusterstorm to protect this Bowmaster whenever I do get around to it. Attack with Tamiyo, immediately crack their clue. 4 cards in hand. Counterspell. Okay. I guess the plan from here is to Bowmaster on their turn, make a fight happen, and then maybe Valky steal something on my turn. I don't know. Just fully 17 cards into the deck and seen 2 lands at this point. Okay. Not going to Bowmaster if they're not going to crack their clue. Oh my goodness. All right. Well, I have a removal spell now. Not that it matters. Okay, I'll Bowmaster. It's going to get countered or killed immediately, but I will at least cast it. Yep, Stern Scolding. Would love to Flusterstorm that, but I can't. And Tamiyo goes ultimate next turn. Tamiyo plus Visions does not go off. I've had quite enough. All right, we're done. A 2-3 record, a good start, then the wheels came off. I can immediately improve this deck by cutting Profane Tutor. We also had a bunch of spots where Counterspell was what we had, but removal is what we wanted. I think just making a couple of these into Drown in the Lock will smooth things out. Like, the 2 Profane Tutors could just become 2 Drowns. You could go 3-3 split with Counterspell, use up all these slots. You could probably cut a Counterspell if you have 2 Drowns as well. I'm really interested into leaning into Harbinger of the Seas. Like, maybe even playing 3 of these main, adding a second basic swamp, and making that a plan. Like, I think we can cut Dead of Winter and Childred, play 2 Harbinger of the Seas, split Counterspell, and Drown in the Lock 3-3 across these 6 slots with the Counterspells and the Profane Tutors, and then just turn, like, Trawler into basic swamp. This Trawler doesn't need to be a Trawler. It came up once that it was cool. It got to hit the graveyard, but I think just a swamp would round things out. We don't really need Tamiyo. That's a flex slot as well if we want more removal. The Brazen Borrowers could be different types of interaction. Bowmaster was super mediocre. That's a flex slot as well. There's a bunch of room for this, and this did show some promise. There's some cool stuff going on here. Jace Reawakened, every time it showed up was good. Gave me a lot of stuff to do. We got to Valky people both fairly and unfairly. I resolved a lot of Ancestral Visions this league. Love that. I think that's where I'm going to leave this. Sunseri, thank you for sharing this list with us. Hopefully my notes help improve it. Everyone, thanks for watching. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe. Check out the Patreon, and I'll see you next time.